Hey, I'm Sam, and I'm with one of my therapists. This is Rolo, and I thought I'd just make a quick video here, and I'm going to show you what that noise is. Come on, sausage, off we go. You boy. So this is really just a quick video. I'm so sorry I haven't made a video for the last over 3 weeks now, and that's probably the longest time I've ever left it. I'm committed to keep sharing this process of healing, of transformation. So if I haven't made a video for a while, don't worry, I'll be back soon. Hey, come here. Rolo. If you need to get in touch and I haven't been around for a while, there's a link under every video, and it's to my website, and there is a contact page there. But the reason I haven't made a video is because I've been working with a somatic therapist for the last 3 months, hands-on. And when I first started to work with her, let's move away from here. Bit noisy. Come on. When I first started to work with her, she would put her hands on my feet and up to my knees and up here. She wouldn't go near my abdomen, my belly, because I've experienced such a lot of trauma from the waist down. A lot of sexual trauma, and so she knew she couldn't go near there. And then maybe 3 sessions ago, she started putting her hands on my side. It's kind of down here. And then 2 sessions ago, she put her hands on my tummy, just above the pubic bone. And then the last session, she pushed and started to massage there. And something, I still don't even know how to talk about it, has happened, and some change. And I've tried to make a video over the last couple of weeks, and I just can't, because my mind is still trying to catch up, still trying to process how I feel. I don't know how I feel. I don't know what I'm thinking. I'm 55, and when I first reached out for help was over 10 years ago, and I reached out to a healer on the island I was living on. And come here, and she put her hands on me, and after the 2nd or 3rd session, I had a flashback to something demeaning, terrifying, and awful happened when I was a child, and it had been locked away for 35 years. I knew I'd had difficulty all my life. But I'd never connected with the why of it all. And she touched me, and I remembered it, and I felt it for the first time in my life, 35 years. I was in my mid-40s at that point. I cried, but still I had decades and decades of illusion and denial and coping. And so it's taken 10 years from that point to this to be ready to let someone touch me again. And when my somatic therapist touched me, it was 10 days ago now, it was like the first time I'd ever been touched. And I know I've said that before, but this is different. It almost felt erotic, actually. But I realised I've never been touched. I've never felt it. In all my life, I've never experienced tenderness or intimacy because I was never really here. I was lost in dissociation, really. And so I am coming alive now, and I just can't speak in the same way anymore. I can't use the same voice, and I don't mean, intonation or tone or pronunciation or anything like that. I mean, I can't speak about myself in the same way because it feels like the person I was even a week ago doesn't exist anymore. Isn't this what we want? We want to heal, but we don't know what it means. We don't know what healing will take from us and what it will give us, because it will take everything. It will take the idea of who you think you are, who you became to survive. It will take it all, and it's an agonizing process because you don't want to let go. But what it reveals in vulnerability, in raw vulnerability, is truth. Is truth. It's a truth of who you've always been, but you couldn't accept. It's a truth of how you feel, you really feel, but you just couldn't connect with, you didn't know how to feel. So, that's what I'm going through. And, every time I've tried to make a video, and because I really wanted to do a detransition update video, because it's been a year since I had surgery, and I have walked for hours, deep in the forest, miles into the forest, with various dogs I've been walking. They've had a really good time, so have I, but I just couldn't say anything. I mean, it doesn't feel necessary to talk in the same way. It doesn't feel even appropriate to talk in the same way. That person just doesn't exist anymore. And so there isn't really no kind of, in the past I've said that, and I'm sure that people who watch my videos, you guys out there will understand this, that there are different pieces of us fragmented inside. In my case, the traumatized child, very young, from birth onwards, really, I was traumatized. And the troubled child, terrified teenager, living in a world of violence. The young man, desperate, scared, and the trans woman for the longest part of my life. Just longing for validation and safety. But when are we safe enough? When are we safe enough? When are we safe enough to start feeling? When is the right time? So, that place of safety is in here. You don't need it outside you, it's inside you. So, those disparate fragments of former selves, they just don't exist anymore. There is just me. There is just me. He does not like this, he wants some attention. There is just me. And I am here now. I'm not scattered through time, into the past and into the future. I'm here. And so, there is no transition or detransition. There's just being unconscious and becoming conscious. And it becomes kind of meaningless. Come on, let's go. To keep telling the story of identity. It just doesn't. It's like this great weight, in the winter. Let's keep walking, actually, I'll keep talking. Come on, you little monster. In the winter, I like to sleep in a cold room, so I have two very heavy duvets on top of me, and I like that weight. It makes me feel safe. And I just love it. And so in a sense, the story is the weight that makes the self feel real, feel safe, feel held. And you know, but come on, we're going this way. Oh, now the battle begins. But that weight that has been bearing down on me all my life, I just don't feel anymore. There is a lightness. There is a lightness. You know, just from touch. No one's ever touched me. You know, though I gave my body away to seek validation from others, and I've hurt myself, I've cut myself, I've put cigarettes out on myself, I've abused my body over the years. Desperately, you know, just confused and in crisis all through my life. But now I'm beginning to feel, beginning to come alive, beginning to become conscious. And so, you know, to tell a story over and over again just doesn't feel necessary. So we can talk about our stories over and over and over and over in the most poetic and beautiful and painful and horrifying and emotive way. But it is like the mind, the self, reinforcing the reality that makes it feel stable and real. Because this is really feels like it's outside you. And to become nothing in the moment, but also to, in that nothingness, to be able to experience the everythingness of it all. You know, the self doesn't want that, because you know, the process that we call healing is disappearance. It's the disappearance of who you think you are. It's the disappearance of illusion and stories. So though we want to heal, we don't want to let go of the story. We don't want to let go of identity. So that's why we keep hitting that roadblock. And what is in the way? Self. Attachment. You know, I went through a period, you know, a few years ago when I was beginning to really make progress. I went through, come on sausage, off we go. I went through a period of feeling like I had murdered the boy that I was, and I had escaped and abandoned those former selves by transitioning. And, you know, I felt so guilty that if I let go of the suffering I endured throughout my childhood and then all through my adulthood in various different forms, repeating the pattern, if I let go of that, what the fuck did it all mean? If I just let go of it, it felt like a betrayal of myself. So that story, the pain, is like the reason for the self's you know, it's like that core. Okay, come on then. He doesn't like the heat. Not that it's very warm. It's that you know, the story of pain is what supports the idea of self. So if you want to be free of pain, then you have to transform, and that means letting go. But you know, I said this in a video ages ago, the person that wants to heal has these abstract ideas of like, okay, when my life is like this and I am like this, everything's going to be okay. But the person that wants those things isn't capable of achieving them. They're not things that you acquire. You have to disappear to allow life to find you in a different way. The inside is the outside. Life lives you, not the other way around. So how are you allowing life to find you? You know, you're not a separate entity getting things that make it feel more real or more stable. That's not how it works. All you're doing is building a false reality. So the person that wants to heal doesn't survive the process. But we meet our own resistance over and over and over again because we don't want to let go. Because if we let go of the story, we let go of the idea of who we think we are. But you have to let go. You have to discover yourself right now. You are dying and becoming every minute of the day. Dying and becoming, letting go. Holding and releasing, holding and releasing. So hold lightly, don't hold tightly. But we hold so tightly. So it just becomes kind of meaningless to even say, I am this. I am this. Beautiful wee man. Let's see if I can find you a treat. Wait a minute. Sit. He's such a gorgeous dog. He loves it when I kiss him on his cheek, and he sort of presents himself, and then he paws me for more kisses, and his eyes close and he tips his head back, and I just kiss him gently on the cheek. But when he's hungry, he turns into an absolute monster. Don't you, sausage? So when are we safe enough? When are we safe enough? When can we allow ourselves to be found, to be touched, not just physically, but touched by life? So, you know, I can't speak in the same way anymore. It doesn't mean, I don't know, it just doesn't mean the same thing anymore. The way I've been speaking. So, you know, I am committed to keep sharing. And I think maybe it'll be easier now, because I used to wait to make these videos until I had some piercing breakthrough and I could speak clearly about it. It was like sharing a revelation, but you know, those revelations become smaller and humbler and more gentle. And I've always wanted to make more videos, I just couldn't. But maybe if I find a new voice, a new way of doing this, I'll be able to share more. Simply because I'm being gentler with myself. So, you know, where is our attention? Whatever we give our attention to is where we live. So are we living in the story? Are we living in self? Seeking wholeness? Trying to fix ourselves to become whole, when really we become whole here, in relationship, in reality, with each other. So where is our attention? Are we giving our attention to something that confines us and depletes us, or something that nourishes us and helps us transcend the complexity of self, the story? Are we nourished? Are we nourishing others? Are we giving ourselves away? Or are we food? Are we food for something that is feeding off us, even if that's an idea, even if that's ego spinning around in a story of self-reflection? Where are we alive the most? Because that's what this is about, this thing that I'm sharing on this channel. And if you're watching me, then you're probably going through the same thing, no doubt, at various stages. Come on, hey, get off that. Stop playing up. Come on, let's go. Come on. You know, we are coming alive. We are coming alive. But you know, that process means letting go. You have to let go. You know, there's no humility in endlessly trying to fix yourself, endlessly criticizing, endlessly trying to do it right, endlessly hating yourself. There's no humility in that. And there is an essential humility in accepting the loss of self, seeing yourself clearly and accepting your own nothingness, but also your own everythingness. The revelation of like who you really are is, you know, just the simplicity of this moment. You know, the self is complex and conflicted endlessly. Who you really are is simple. So yeah, I think that's it. You know, I really will try and make as many videos as I can. And you know, I haven't been able to reorient myself after just that incredible therapy session, and I've actually got therapy again tomorrow. So what I'm thinking of doing is spacing them out a bit more, because it's just it stirs things up so much. So you know, that's why I really wanted to come out today and just try and say a few words with this wee man, because you know, who knows what's going to happen tomorrow. And you know, I'll be finding my feet again for another week or so, and not really, you know, knowing what to say about it. So just bear with me. I'm not going anywhere. If you need to get in touch, there's a link to my website under every video, and there's a contact page there. And also, if you want to support me, you know, I'm so grateful for the donations I receive, and it does make a massive difference in my life. You know, I have a really humble existence. You know, I just walk dogs. I make £30 a day, that's it. But you know, that's all I've been able to manage thus far, and I've just been rebuilding my life after a catastrophic breakdown. So the donations really help. And you know, I try and offer something of value and honesty and truth. And if you value what I do, then, you know, and you can afford a donation, it really, really helps. And I'd love to monetize the channel, but, you know, I don't want to put adverts on it, and I don't want to put a membership, because I would have to make more content for the members, and that would exclude people, and it would just, I already make the most content I can. So, you know, if you can afford to donate, that supports me. And gradually I'm moving into a time when this channel is just an element of my own practice of guiding people through this process. You know, I already make myself available if you need to talk. You know, again, I don't charge anything. It wouldn't be right. But if you can donate, great, thank you. But eventually, you know, that's going to be my work, is guiding people through this process as I become truer and more stable and more truthful and more humble. And I can be that channel for love and presence. That's what I'm going to do, you know, because I care, because I know how much you're suffering, because I've suffered that much as well. I know how much we suffer. But, you know, hopefully this channel is evidence that change is possible, transformation is possible. But it comes in a way that you can't even conceive. When you're in pain and you're trying to sort yourself out, you can't even conceive of what lies ahead of you, how are you going to get there, what the process involves. You just don't know. So we need a guide. We need somebody who has already walked that path that can guide us through, and that's what I'm going to do for the rest of my life. So anyway, I need to get this wee boy home. He's been very patient. So I will be back soon as possible. And thank you all for your support. And you know, I'll be back soon. Okay, bye.